Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Bruno. I'm originally from Australia, but I live for the last 30 years in Vilnius, which is the capital of Lithuania. Sorry I haven't posted for a while. August was a hot month, even here in Lithuania, and lots and lots of things to do. My birthday is in that month, friends' birthdays in that month, and we all went to Spain, just south of Barcelona, to celebrate his birthday and had a little holiday there. And when we got off the plane back in Vilnius, we thought that the plane had landed back in Barcelona because it was just as hot here in Vilnius as it was in Spain. And yes, it is the autumn, the fall, and it's Friday the 13th. So I actually think Friday the 13th is a lucky day. Anyway, so it's been a while, and lots and lots of work in the garden because, you know, I have all my plants inside and I have all my plants outside, and just in the last couple of days the weather has gone much cooler. It's like 5 to 10 degrees cooler than it's been all during the summer. And we had rain basically all day yesterday, which was the first reasonable rain we've seen in quite a few weeks, because there's lots of dry grass and plants that are wilting outside in the parks, etc., if they're not being watered. So anyway, but I'm so glad you're here. And if you're new here, why don't you just press subscribe? It's not going to cost you anything, and it helps me out a lot. Anyway, today we're going to concentrate on all of my Hoyas that I have. They're here on the third floor, just, you know, most of them are on that IKEA shelf, 3-level shelf. But I've taken them all down so that it'll be easier to show them to you. Most of my Hoyas are doing extremely well. 1, 2, 3 have flowered or are still flowering at the moment. One of them flowered for the very first time. We'll get to that one in a minute. So this is basically the guest room, but it's also my Hoya room. And talking about things, lots of gardening things to do, I'm sort of downsizing a little bit of my plants that are on the second floor. I want to concentrate more on plants that grow big, have less of them, but bigger ones. And I've moved 1, 2, 3, 4 of my moss pole plants downstairs onto the ground floor, where some of my other philodendrons are on moss poles and doing really well. So I thought, well, they may as well be there as well, because on the second floor they were on a high shelf. In order to put the little bottle of water or a glass of water at the top to drip into the moss, I'd have to use a little step ladder to get up there. So I thought, no, forget the step ladders. Downstairs they go, and they seem to be doing very well, and much easier for me to water them. Anyway, so I might be a little bit disorganized because I've moved the plants down, and I want to show them all to you, whatever condition they're in. So we'll start with the ones that are right next to me, because they are just lovely. This one is looking very well. Yes, this is Hoya australis, and its species name, according to the tag, is Blondie. It's basically an outer variegated one. You see it? It's growing very well, extremely well. I've got no problems with these. Yes, the only problem I've had, which is nothing unusual, is mealybugs. I had a lot of mealybugs, and the very first ones I noticed were on the pubicalyx, and it's taken me about 2 months to actually get rid of these mealybugs. This one also was heavily infested. Originally I did start picking them off, but there were just too many of them, and I've just basically, every time I see a mealybug, I just spray it with rubbing alcohol. It's much easier. And then, you know, once a week, take them in under the shower, give them a shower. I've got a shower nozzle that I can regulate the intensity of the spray, and I put it on the finest and the strongest spray, and it'll just knock off whatever is on the leaves. So yes, and I think I see a little mealybug right now, and you're going for the squish because you're the only one that's on this plant, knock on wood, at the moment, but it's beautiful, beautiful. Now, while we're talking about mealybugs, I found that I was able to control them a lot easier and a lot better because, you know, these butterfly clips, well, these are definitely, you know, dragonfly butterfly clips. There's also plain, ordinary little black ones, and the Velcro tape that I use to fasten the vines to their frames, to whatever. Please note, one of the favorite hiding places for mealybugs is in the Velcro tape or in these butterfly clips. So, you know, basically I just pick them all off, open them, spray them with alcohol. With the Velcro tape, you have to take them off, spray them, and then reattach them. Favorite hiding places, because sometimes when you take off the Velcro or you take off the butterfly clip and open it up and have a look, you will get a shock. There's a whole nest of mealybugs inside these things. So not only am I inspecting the leaves, I'm inspecting the butterfly clips, and I'm inspecting the Velcro tape. So keep that in mind, because if you think you've cleaned all the leaves and there are no mealybugs on the leaves and whatever, check the butterfly clips, check the Velcro tape, because the mealybugs love to hide there. So that's my tip of the day. Because basically, because I've just watered all my Hoya, I'm not watering them so often. I'm not religiously watering them every week. Sometimes it's every 8 days, sometimes it's every 10 days, and they seem to be loving it. Because I can be an overwaterer. That's one of my big problems. So these are on the 3rd floor. I usually only see them when I get up in the morning and come out of my bedroom and I look into this guest bedroom and I see the Hoyas. And if I notice that the leaves are getting a bit crinkly, then I will water them. Or the pot is very light, because most of the plants are in a chunky soil mix, Hoya mix as I call it, and some are in pon. But I have recently transferred 1 or 2 from pon back to a chunky soil mix, which I used sort of a third pon, a third bark, and a third tree fern fiber. I seem, because those that I have propagated recently and put them in this mixture, some of the mixtures that I use is just half pon and half tree fern fiber, and they seem to love it, even in semi-hydro. Anyway, the next Hoya that is gone absolutely crazy, and if you're a long-time subscriber of mine, you will notice this one, because it was just a few leaves for a year. Well, I don't think I can lift this one. It's Hoya kerrii. Well, there it is down at the bottom. That's basically what I had, is this clump of leaves at the bottom. Now it goes up to the very top, and now I have 2 stems at the top. So, I'd like to see this one flower. I did see one on someone's video that was flowering, and they were very, very happy that it was flowering, but it's big. It's big. And the lady that sold me the cutting locally told it will get big. Well, it did start to get big after a year of only pushing out leaves in the clump at the bottom, and it did nothing else. And then suddenly, of course, the kerrii has very, very thick vines, and they're not that easy to bend. So, you know, I do take the risk. I just bend them down as far as I can. But then you will see that this little one, what has it done? It has decided, as most Hoya will, they want these growth tips to be pointing up. So it's turned the corner and it's pointing up. Just, oh, it's lovely. I'm so happy with it. I might have to put another hoop the other way around because I'll need basic support. And it's in a heavy ceramic cover pot because, you know, the frame, the hoop is heavy and a bit wobbly sometimes. But yes, it is growing well and it's not lost a single leaf for me. So that's Hoya kerrii. I think now this is I'll show you my very first, I think this was the very first Hoya I bought. But this is my Hoya pubicalyx. I think it's called a pink splash because, well, it's got lovely little black edges on its leaves. Some of the splash is barely visible, but some of it is there, and it does go slightly pink, but I think because it's called pink splash, usually the name usually refers to the color of the blooms. But as you can see, it starts from down there and it goes all the way up there, and it's putting out some new vines. It had about 4 or 5 vines at the top, which were like a meter and a half in length. I didn't like them. They weren't doing much. They're just hanging in there, obviously looking for something to grab onto. So I just cut them off. And it's now putting out some vines I can see a little bit lower down. And there's still the ones at the top that are trying to form. But, you know, you just can't go wrong. If you've never grown a Hoya in your life and you want to grow a Hoya that grows fast and easy, it's Hoya pubicalyx. Doesn't matter which one you get. There are all sorts of this. Like I think there's a Hawaiian purple, all sorts of them. But you can't go wrong with this one. I mean, look, this is my very first Hoya. This is me who never grew a Hoya in his life. And this is my very first Hoya, and it has stayed. It just gets thicker and bushier and more vines. I would just like it to flower, and I've had a good look at it today because I've just watered them all. No peduncles anywhere, but at least it's a big, beautiful plant. Some of the splash, let's look down here, look. Some of the splash is quite intense. Some of the splash is blobs of them, but I like these. I like the splash on these leaves. Anyway, quite a bit of variety there. A Hoya that I bought because I thought, oh, it'll grow well, was Hoya imperialis red. Well, I did have a big plant, but it did not like the winter. Even though in this room I have grow lights, the south-facing window. In winter, the temperature's never lower than 23, 24 degrees Celsius. Let me get it out of its pot. This is what it looks like now. But it's put out a new growth point down here. This is new. And this is all new growth because I basically was left with a stick. And it has come good, but I wouldn't say it's a very fast grower. No. But at the moment, the humidity in this room is around 60% because it's 80% humidity outside. I've got the window open here. I've got the windows open downstairs, and I'm at roughly 60-65% humidity all over the house. So yes, that's my imperialis red. Supposed to be a vigorous grower, when you would need a huge trellis to look after it. Well, you know, this is after a year or so of keeping this. No, I've been here for a year now, so a year and a half, nearly 2 years. It's not a vigorous grower, not for me anyway. But I'm not going to give up on it. I'll just keep on keeping on. Now, my Hoya multiflora outer variegated. Look at that. Those that have been here before, you will know that at one stage this was basically a stick, but I have got two very healthy stems. To me, don't get angry, but it does from a distance look like a little orange tree, a little citrus tree. Beautiful leaves. It has this slight variegation on the edges, and you can see here there's a peduncle there. In actual fact, there are 6 peduncles here. This has been, for the last month, this has been flowering absolutely crazy, and I've actually moved it to the very top, up there. And it's in the front row. It's a first class seat by the window, south-facing window, and it seems to love it up there. And I'm so happy that I saved this plant. And oh, look at it, it's just lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Little bit of maybe bleaching because there's a lot of sun, but you know, it is autumn, so the sun is eventually going to be a little bit less intense than it is now, even though the weather forecasters forecast maybe one day next week we'll still be up to like 24, 25 degrees Celsius, which is very warm for Lithuania. But, you know, a lot of the summer, we broke a lot of records where the temperatures went well above 30 degrees. So, yeah, 6 peduncles, 6 of them. Oh, what else could you actually want from a multiflora? 6 peduncles? More than enough. And it's just been flowering non-stop. Of course, I have to collect the buds from the floor. Not all the peduncles flower. Some of them blast their peduncles. But yeah, I just love that multiflora. Just love it. Now, here is my Hoya callistophylla. Look at that. If you will recall, this Hoya basically I had 3 cuttings with a couple of leaves on them, and they just sat there for a year. Nothing. Then one of you dear subscribers recommended to me that I move this Hoya callistophylla right next to the south-facing window. So it also has a first-class seat right by the window. And it went mad. Boom, up to here. Another vine came out here. And if you watched my shorts, not the ones I'm wearing, my shorts clip, this flowered about 2 weeks ago. I think the flower lasted like 3, maybe 4 days. I didn't notice any scent. The peduncle is still there, sort of dried up, but beautiful, beautiful flower. I was very impressed, and I never thought that this would flower before a lot of my other Hoyas, but I love the leaves. It doesn't seem to sun stress in the sun because it faces south and it gets sun from the south, growing very, very well. And thank you. You know who you are that recommended that I move this to right next to the south-facing window. And that was the best advice I ever had for this Hoya. That's why we're here. That's why we share information, because in my conditions, you know, I don't always understand why something's not growing very well, and then someone picks it up and gives me a recommendation, and the results speak for themselves. This is one of my newer Hoyas that I can't see it very much, but this is my Hoya retusa. It put out lovely roots in my prop box within 2 or 3 weeks. So now I've got it planted up in a mixture of half pon and half tree fern fiber. So it is growing, it is putting out new growth. And eventually it'll go into a hanging basket. So I just really want this, you know, big cascade from this plant. But yes, it's growing very well. It's sort of in the business class area, 1 row back from the window. So it does get bright light. These are easier for me to reach. Here is my Hoya australis, Lisa, which if you've been around here from my early days, you know that I almost lost this plant. It just never grew for me. Never grew. It would rot or it would die back or whatever. Well, it's growing. I love the pinky new leaves. I wouldn't say it's a fast grower, for me anyway, but the fact that it is growing, and I've just put it on one of these hoops, and so that one of the vines, because it has two vines coming out of the base. This one is the newest little vine, so I want one vine going up that way, one vine going up that way. But yeah, of course I have to have an australis because I am from Australia. But I love it. So I've got two australises, this one and the blondie, which you could almost say that this is the inner variegated one, the Lisa, and the blondie is the outer variegated one. So if I put all my Hoyas down here, I'll know I've shown them to you. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Look at that. Beautiful. This is in a chunky soil mix. This is a Hoya Verticillata splash. It's not the black margin, black edge one, but look, I'm surrounded by these vines everywhere. It's growing very, very, very well. It's also in the business class section. I just saw a mealybug. Let's give you a squish. But yeah, it's putting out new leaves on some of the new vines. No signs of peduncles as yet. But yeah, look, I just love it, love it, love it. Some of them have more splash than the others, but it's lovely. Hoya Verticillata, which I presume this is what it is, because I haven't got a label in it, but I can't forget the name of this one. Hoya Verticillata, and I think I got this for nothing from Hoya My Gosh. I think it was from Hoya My Gosh when I bought some plants from her, and she put it in as a gift. So it is growing. Look at it, beautiful, 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 beautiful. Now this one, look, this is another one that's growing extremely well. Tiny little bits of splash on the leaves. And I've lost the label of this one and I don't really know what it is. Don't really know what it is. Tiny, tiny amounts of splash. No idea. If you've got any suggestions, leave a message. Leave a comment down below. I don't know what it is. It's never flowered. It is growing very well, but I just can't remember what it was called. And I did think, and this is also in a chunky soil mix. No, can't see anything. No, I thought maybe the label had fallen inside. I will find the label somewhere, or I'll have to have a look at my Excel spreadsheet. That's what I'll do, and by process of elimination, because I've got all the Hoyas listed there according to the labels or as I bought them, and for some reason this label has gone AWOL, but I will find it, or by process of elimination, because most of my Hoyas are labelled. Well, there's some you don't need to label because it's obvious who they are. Here's another recent purchase. This is my Hoya polyneura, elbow marginata, and these two little leaves are new. Lovely, lovely. It's also in the business class section on the shelf. Had lovely roots, and it's also in the pon and tree fern fibre mixture, 50-50. Don't think I've got water in the bottom. No, so there's enough water for it. It's doing very well. Put you down somewhere and hopefully not kick you. Here's one that's growing slowly. This is a Hoya David Kamingii. not Cummingii in Latin. Okay, it looks like it has produced this during the summer, so it has grown. It was just a tiny little plant with 2 stems, and one of them is basically not growing, but one of the stems is up to there. But it's a Cummingii. Love it, but I would love it even more if it would at least fill the trellis up. So, but you know, step by step, little by little. As I've said, I think once before, if you're growing Hoyas with a lot of them, you have to be absolutely patient. Patient. Because, you know, like my kerrii did nothing for a year and now reaching for the stars. Callistophylla did nothing, now it's growing very well, even bloomed, so patience with Hoyas. Let's, oh, I've forgotten the name of this one, hang on. Let me show you this one. This is my Hoya, my Hoya Crimson Queen. Love these, you know. This is in a chunky soil mix. Oh, just poured out some water on the floor. Doesn't matter, it'll increase the humidity as it evaporates. It's not as quick growing as the Crimson Princess. I'll show you that one in a minute. But this is the Crimson Queen. Hoya Carnosa Crimson Queen. Is it Carnosa Crimson Queen? I think it's Carnosa Crimson Queen. But yeah, it's lovely. It has got a new vine that it put out. It is putting out new leaves here, so, you know, it's growing. Not as fast as I thought it would. I think the name has come back. I got this recently at a big box store. And of course, it's labeled as Hoya Mix. But I did I did go to a face group, Hoya identification group, and everyone was certain. Oh, I can't. Everyone was certain that this is the Hoya sigillatus, and this is called the wide form or the rounded form. Sometimes it's got some sort of number, as I've looked it up on the internet, some sort of number, and subspecies Borneo. So it's a sigillatus, wide leaf, rounded leaf, usually called wide leaf, or wide leaf subspecies Borneo. But, you know, I just thought it's lovely, and I haven't repotted it into this big, slightly larger pot, hanging pot. It's still in the original nursery pot. This is what I've been doing lately, is keeping it in its original pot, and I put it in the space where it's going to grow, and I leave it there for a month or 2 months before I decide on whether or not I'll repot it. So, yeah. Sigillatus. Subspecies Borneo, wide form. Anyway, my Hoya Varieties, well, you know, it's growing. This one is actually potted in a chunky mix in this pot. You know, for me, this is very, very, very slow. It's not a fast growing. Okay, it's got two or three vines it's pushing out. I can see a few new leaves. I think it's just, I missed a watering on this one, and I think it was a little bit curly. So it's having a drink now to re-establish itself. But yeah, well, you know, it'll grow. Not one of my favorites at the moment, but you know, if it bushes out, I'll like it even more. Oh, this one, look at this. Look at this. Isn't this gorgeous? Look at that leaf. Look at that leaf. It's lovely, beautiful. This is now my label has, you know, the permanent marker has run, but I think it's a Hoya EPC 1015. It's actually a cross between two, but the cross is smudged, so the name on the label, see, it's smudged. I can't read that at the bottom, so I'll have to make a new label for it because it is in my spreadsheet. But oh, look, it's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Look, I just love it. Love it. It's got beautiful big leaves. It also was a magnet for mealybugs. It hasn't flowered. It hasn't... if you see me picking things off, it's usually because I'm wiping off the dead corpses of the mealybugs. A bit gory, but hey, Halloween is coming, so you know I've got dead corpses around the place for Halloween. But they're just mealybug corpses. But yeah, it's growing. You know, it has one, two, three vines. Yeah, three, and then it's pushing out something here, which might be a new vine or it might be a peduncle. I'm not quite sure, but lovely, lovely, lovely Hoya. Look, even from the back side, it's just gorgeous. Chunky soil mix, doing well. Running out of room on the floor. And it has, on the vines, it has some new leaves pushing out, so must be happy. Oh, here we go. Here is a Hoya Verticillata. It used to be called Parasitica, and I've had this since September 2023, so exactly a year. Verticillata, and some of the leaves, I don't know if it shows up, but it has the black edge. So this is the Verticillata black edge. Lovely. And it's got those sort of like crinkly, I can't see it all that well, but it does have the crinkly, slight crinkly bits there. It also, you know, look at that. So I got one of these bigger pots. Oh, beautiful roots in there, beautiful roots. Chunky soil mix. Doing very well. No peduncles. Hasn't flowered yet, but, you know, it's growing. Sorry that I'm in and out of frame. Now, when I bought the sigillatus, I also bought this. It was also labeled Hoya mix, but this is a Verticillata black edge. You know, I should have realized, you know, it's got that, you know, look at that. It's got those lovely leaves. Where are you? There. It's got those lovely crinkly leaves, and it has the black edges along there. See? Oh, there we are. That one. Look at that. Beautiful black edges. So I've got two of these now. In fact, in my propping station, I must have taken a cutting from the other big one, and it's grown quite nicely. So, and we have a plant swap coming up this Sunday here in Vilnius, and the weather is supposed to be good. And I think I've got about 15, maybe 20 plants that I'll take there. Most of them I'll just give away. It's either I give them away or they go into the compost bin. So, or I might swap them for something, but you know, gotta find something that will grab my attention to swap. I think I've got about like 6 or 7 alocasia black velvets, which I grew from corms, but they're now about that tall, growing quite well. I don't need 6 more plants. I've got one nice healthy mama plant, so I'll take those and a bunch of other plants that I just don't want anymore. They're either cuttings or props or plants that I don't want anymore. So it's either the plant swap or it's the compost bin. Makes no difference to me. This one is the next one. This is a Hoya cultivar Jennifer. Okay, it's grown. I mean, it was a little plant. I mean, I did buy it as a cutting. What are you doing here? A new vine is coming out from there. Thought it might be a peduncle, but not. Did you try to push out a peduncle here and gave up? I don't know. But, mealybug. Anyway, CV Jennifer. I think that means cultivar Jennifer. Beautiful. Beautiful plant. It's grown up its trellis quite nicely, filled it out. Some of its leaves are nice and, its earlier leaves were nice and long. Now again started to put out long leaves. It gets a lot of sun, and when the sun is not shining, there are grow lights above it. Cultivar Jennifer. Let's explain this one. This is my Hoya silver dollar. It has put out 1, 2, 3, 4 new leaves. These are the 2 newest leaves. These 2 leaves are the ones before, and there at the bottom are 2 original leaves. There were originally 3 original leaves, but it's recently lost one of those original leaves. Now, it started to grow. The vine started to grow, put out new leaves. The vine started to grow. It hasn't dried off at the top, but it's not growing anymore. It was in pon. So the other day I thought, no, I'm going to move it to, this is my 3rd mixture with the 3rd pon, 3rd bark, and 3rd tree fern fiber, and a little bit of worm castings. And when I put this back on the shelf, this one is receiving an upgrade from business class to first class. Because I read somewhere, or I saw, I think I read it, maybe I saw it on a video clip on YouTube. It likes bright sunshine. So we'll see. If it doesn't behave in first class, it'll go back to business class. So my silver dollar. Well, I really, considering its cost, for a little 3-leaf cutting, I would like it to grow. And I've seen a huge one. I can't remember the guy. Is in, I think in Toronto in Canada. It's just wonderful. And he grows, I think all of his Hoyas in pon. But, don't know. I think if the Hoya's native growing area, it grows on rocks and things like that, I think it should like pon. If it's more prone to growing on trees, limbs, branches of trees, trunks of trees, I think then it probably needs a more organic mix. But that's just my theory. Well, I transplanted it into an organic mix, and it hasn't died. And like I said, when I put all my plants back, he's being upgraded to first class. Now, oh God, this is a little bit inconvenient. Another plant that I showed you last time that I got, propped it. Yes, it's new leaf. This is a Hoya globulosa. Lovely. Beautiful. By the way, the silver dollar, when I took it out of pon, huge root system, healthy, huge root system. So, it wasn't dying back. The roots weren't dying back in pon. It wasn't, but there's nothing coming out the top. So we'll see how it goes in organic, but huge root system. So, this is the globulosa. I just like this. I love it. I love the veining. I like it that it's slightly brighter green when it comes out, and the older leaf is darker brown, but it's fuzzy underneath. Shiny and silky on the top, but fuzzy on the bottom. I won't touch the new one, but I think this is probably the very first Hoya I have that's fuzzy on the bottom. Anyway, I do like it. Yes, I like this. I didn't notice that it was fuzzy on the bottom. But hopefully it will grow well. There's no reason why it shouldn't grow well. No reason at all. So, mind you. And here we go again. I'm going backwards and forwards. Oh, here's another one. This is my Hoya. I think it says, I think it says latifolia, big leaves. But if I remember correctly, the latifolia is now macrophylla or something like that. But of course I got it because look at, I just look at the size of this leaf, and the leaf there, and it does have a dark black edge on it. And there's another new leaf coming out there, and this is the new growth point. It did dry off, but when I took it out of the prof box, but it's produced another little growth point there. So it wants to survive. Aerial roots means the humidity is enough for it, and a new little leaf. We'll see how big this leaf grows. So it's also, and of course, big leaves like this, gonna need to wash it down, wipe it down, keep the dust off, but just believe it's an easy one to grow. So we'll see. Yeah, talking about easy ones to grow, get very frustrated sometimes because, every channel I watch, Hoya Bella, hey, it's so easy, just, hang it right next to a south-facing window, etc., etc. No. I think I've been struggling with Hoya Bella for nearly 2 years. In the prop box, it just goes crazy. It branches out, produces new vines, new leaves, whatever. As soon as I pot it up, as soon as I put it on the shelf, bang, and it starts dropping its leaves, and then I get worried, and then I chop the stems and propagate them again. It's a never-ending circle. Propagate, move it, chop it, propagate it. Don't know why, but one of them, if I can find it, yes, I can see it. This is my Hoya Bella variegated. Well, I've had this since April 2023. Well, really? Nearly a year and a half. Okay, it's growing, but, what on earth is wrong with you? And this is the Hoya Bella Leader Bois, but it's the variegated one. It's a beautiful Hoya Bella. Get out of the way. It is a beautiful Hoya. What is that? Is it leaves or a peduncle? No, new leaves. Anyway, I don't expect a peduncle. Anyway, struggle. And it's on the shelf facing south. So it gets lots and lots of light. But the other one is its cousin, the standard all green Hoya Bella. Let me just drive over here. There we are, look. I have this vine and I have this vine. And this was also the same. Prop it, puts out 3 or 4 vines, pot it up, move it to a shelf near the south-facing window. No, starts dropping leaves. And I've never had a Hoya Bella, plain green one, grow vines this long before. And, I've had this for a year and a half, whatever. Endless cycle, prop, repot, back to propping. Now, what did I do with this one? I put it on my outdoor patio table, which is sort of on the table. It's in the bright shade. Well, if there's such a thing as bright shade. bright indirect light shade for most of the day, and for 1 or 2 hours it gets direct sunlight, and it's grown very nicely. But it hasn't branched out anymore. I don't see it branching out anywhere. There are no bugs on it, and okay, maybe the Hoya is just not for me. But every video clip I see, they're growing in a hanging basket, hanging right in front of the south-facing window, and they're branched out everywhere, and they're full of blooms, and I just start salivating when I see those, and get really upset when then I have a look at mine. But, you know, it did do better. It did do better, so maybe I've turned a corner. Maybe I've turned a corner with the Hoya Bella. I just don't know. And I sort of began to feel that, you know, it's time to just grow the ones that grow well for me, and, you know, forget the ones I struggle with. You know, I've like 5, 6, 7 species have died off on me and didn't grow. And, you know, maybe as a new grower of Hoyas, you know, I was just expecting too much, because I do not have a grow tent. I do not have a IKEA cabinet, none of that. It just grows here. I said the humidity on average is around 50% all year round, but now it's sort of like at 60, 65%. So some Hoyas like more humidity, some Hoyas like less humidity. And I did find that all these Hoyas, because in this room it was over 30 degrees Celsius, but I opened the window so that at night it just gets a little bit cooler. It might drop 5, 10 degrees, so it might go down to like 18, 20, 22 degrees at night for the warm summer nights, and they just started going crazy. So maybe they like this idea of, you know, during the daytime it's hot and humid, and in the evening the temperature drops, still humid, and they seem to do well. And, you know, callistophylla flowered, Hoya multiflora flowering. What else do I want to show you? Now comes the, no, not yet. Here we go. This is my Hoya sunrise. Is it the sunrise? I always want to call it sunshine. No, it's sunrise. Okay, it's a little cutting. Oh, there's a new stem here with some new leaves coming out. That is a new stem. Of course, you know, I found a stem. But, you know, okay, it's grown well. But tell me, this is sitting in first class on that shelf right next to the south-facing window, and it gets blasted with sunshine for more than 8 hours a day. Why is it not sun stressing? I presume the name Hoya Sunshine means that it sun stresses. Wow. It spent all summer next to the south-facing window, and where is the sun stressing? Was this mislabeled? No, but I didn't buy this from a store. I ordered it from a reputable online store, and I specifically bought it because it was Hoya Sunshine, and I wanted to see these lovely red stressed leaves, sun-stressed leaves. But nope, not. Any ideas why it's not sun-stressing my sunshine? No idea. It's growing, but it's not sun-stressing. I don't know what suntan lotion it's using, but it's not sun stressing for me at all. Oh, here we go. This, let's just go up here. All the way down there, you know, at least 1 meter long. This is a cutting I got last year or this year, at Easter time. I think it was this year at Easter time at my cousin's place. She has one of these in her dining room in the corner on a shelf really high up, and it has like 20 of these strands, like a 2.5 meters long. It is really big, really bushy, and she's had it for years and years and years. I've seen that plant in her dining room at least for the last 20 years. So, you know, and it's just, I presume it's just an ordinary everyday Hoya carnosa. It has just a tiny, tiny little bit of splash, tiny little bit of splash. You can see the veins on them, you know, but yeah, nothing special, but if she's had it for so long, it's probably one of those old-fashioned Hoyas that, you know, maybe you can't get anymore in the stores. Maybe nobody sells them anymore. But, you know, and I also wanted to vine down as a hanging plant, but, you know, you could let out a couple more vines so that, you know, it will fill it up. But anyway, easy peasy, this plant. Oh, just requires nothing. Just a water every now and then. And do I have any more over there? Oh yes, I do have one more over there on the floor. Then there's 3 I need to show you, but they're a bit difficult to get off the hangers. This one. This is a Hoya memoria. It used to be known as a Hoya, or also known as, aka, Hoya gracilis, but I don't think it's supposed to be called gracilis anymore. It's a Hoya memoria. This is growing slowly, but nicely. I like it. It's lovely little leaves, tiny little bit of splash, but, you know, there's more leaves without any splash than there are with splash, but, you know, lovely. It's just lovely. I would love to see this one in a lovely full hanging basket, and I would like to see it flowering, you know, because for some of my Hoyas, you know, I think the flowering will confirm or deny whether I've got the names right. But I think I bought this as a cutting in a big box store, as a little plant. But yes, I did, in October last year. It's grown. It's not the fastest of grower. It's on the shelf, but it's in economy class, slightly further back from the window. But at night or cloudy days, there is a grow light above it, a strong mother grow light above it. So, you know, yep, lovely. You know, I do like it because, you know, most of the others have all got much bigger leaves. Now, sorry, but it's going to take me a while to unplug these from the hangers. Here we go. This is a lechuza hanging basket. It is very heavy. And this is a Hoya lacunosa silver. I almost lost it. This, in my old apartment, was the very first Hoya to flower for me. It's flowered already once this year, and today, what did I find? What did I find on you? Looky. Hasn't opened up yet, but this is its second flower this season. So I'm very, very happy. I'm very happy that I didn't lose it. I have got one cutting as an emergency. Some of the leaves are very silver, and some of the leaves are more splashy. Don't mind, as long as it doesn't revert to all green. That's what I don't want. But that's a second bloom for this season. So this is its third bloom. It bloomed for the first time last year, bloomed about 2-3 weeks ago, and this is its bloom that I just noticed today. But it's on the same peduncle that's bloomed twice. I don't think that was a mealybug, but I just will wipe you off. Don't you take any energy away from the bloom. Just a minute. I have some alcohol, rubbing alcohol, just to be sure. So, but these are very heavy because this is growing in pond. This is growing in pond, and so the water reservoir is here, and this is self-watering. It's got enough water in it. But I do tend, when I water, to lift out the pot and flush it with the water that's in the reservoir. I don't expect its roots. Don't expect its roots to. But it's on the. It is, you know, these shelves are a little bit like an Airbus A380. There's the top shelf and the bottom shelf. This is hanging from the top shelf, so it's in economy class. Even though it's right, it has a window seat, but it's in economy class. It's downstairs on the A380. And luckily, when you get these Ikea shelves, they have some very strong hooks. So it's very easy to. Now, a Hoya that did practically nothing is my Hoya hushkeliana. Variegated, inner variegated. Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Oh, this is the longest vine I've ever had on a hushkeliana. In fact, this is my second hushkeliana, and it's the longest one that I've ever been able to keep alive. So it is growing very nicely. I did see on a video clip, someone said that the hushkeliana would perhaps like a frame to grow up. But every other video clip that I've watched, the hushkelianas are always in a hanging basket. So it is also in economy class on the first floor of the A380, right next to the window. It does like it every now and then. Okay, the sun does get a little bit strong, but it might just lose one leaf. Might just, you know, dry up in the bright light. But if it's produced this growth for me, now I'm tempted, you know, to cut and prop and put another one in there to fill. But I might just do that next spring, because I'm going to this plant swap basically to empty out my prop box. I don't want my prop box in action during the winter, because I've got about 8 plants that are outside that have to come inside, and one of them I want to put on the table that the prop box is on now, because it has a Sansi grow light above it. So I don't want to prop anything during the winter. So if this continues to grow nicely, it's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. I might move it to a different type of hanging basket, because it's in, as I said, it's in pon. So is the lacunosa silver. But this is a very heavy pot, and it's rounded on the bottom, so you know you can't take it off, unhook it, and put it on the top of a table, because it wobbles like a basketball. But you know, anyway, Hoya hushkeliana inner variegated, lovely, 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 lovely. Well, it is filling out, you know, and this is a success story, because you know I've killed at least one before, just wouldn't grow for me. And the very last Hoya, sorry for moving away, and the very last Hoya, also growing in pon, and just look at it. Just look at it. Look at that. Beautiful pink stems, beautiful big leaves. Yes, this is the Hoya carnosa pink princess, because the variegation is in the middle, and it is thriving. It is on the A380 downstairs in economy class, but it has a window seat, so it's right next to the window, and you can guess that this side faces the window more. I might turn it around and put this side facing the window to encourage this side to do something more. But yep, there's a little bit of reversion here. Bit of reversion. I might just cut them off. I'll see what they do. If it's only continues to push out green on this particular stem or two, no, I'll cut them off. But if they're variegated, turns back to variegated. But this is beautiful. I love this. Love this, love this, love this. Pink Princess. Love it, love it, love it. Well, dear people, that is my whole Hoya collection. And I think they are, more or less all of them, happy Hoyas. And, you know, I've had some success this season in the last 12 months. Well, in the last 12 months since I've moved here with all my south-facing windows and, you know, an independent heating system. I just set the thermostats and it maintains the temperature and switches off if the rooms are too warm and switches on if they cool down. And all the light I get from the south-facing windows and all the grow lights I've installed in case of cloudy days, because you know it's yes, the sun is shining outside, but we're supposed to have some really heavy downpours of rain today or tomorrow, because there's this huge weather front coming from the west and heading towards the east. Because part of the eastern Lithuania yesterday and last night received almost a month's worth of rain in a day, which is, you know, some local flooding somewhere, and it didn't reach Vilnius. It rained all day, lightly, and then towards the evening, steady rain all during the night. So at least everything in the outside garden, in the street gardens, etc., everything got watered. I don't really want, you know, heavy downpours. Talking about heavy downpours, in English we say it's raining cats and dogs, I think, don't we? It means, you know, heavy downpour, raining cats and dogs. And in Lithuanian, if I translate what they say when it's heavy rain, it says it's raining like it's from a bucket. It's almost like a waterfall. Yeah, it's raining like it's from a bucket. That's more or less the same as English, it's raining cats and dogs. So, yeah. Hello, Benji. Benji, come here, come here. Come here. I take you. Come here. No, he won't come here. No. Don't look at me with those eyes. Benji is a Basenji breed. This African barkless dog. Has a mind of his own. If I want him to do something, normally he won't do it. So I have to play psychologist. I have to make him think that it's something he wants to do, not what I want him to do. And then he'll do it. Because now he won't come out. But he wanted to come into this room. But no. He's decided not to. So basically, that's it. Listen, I'll show you something. There's absolutely nothing to do with Hoyas. Absolutely nothing to do with Hoyas. Just for fun, I grew this plant. Just for fun. Look at that. Look at that. I love this plant. I love it. You know what it is? If you're from the tropics, you'll probably guess by the leaf shape. Yes, this is a papaya. Well, I'm not expecting any fruit, but I do like the shape of my little tree, my papaya tree. In fact, I think my friends bought their grandmother some papaya fruit, fresh from the tropics. And I asked her if I could have some seeds. Yeah. You won't believe this. So I think I got about 6 seeds. I put them in my seedling prop box full of sphagnum moss. Put each seed in the sphagnum moss. Made sure it got lots of light, lots of humidity. And after 6 months, nothing grew. So I thought, oh well, you know, dud seeds, didn't grow. So I just took that seedling box out of my big prop box. I think I just put that seedling box on the shelf with all my empty pots and things like that. And I came back to it after about 3 or 4 months. Of course, the moss was dry. The sphagnum moss was dry as a bone, as they say in English. And I had some other tropical seeds that I put in there. So, you know, moistened the sphagnum moss, you know, put it back in the prop box. And wouldn't you know it, 5 of the papaya seeds also sprouted, as well as the new tropical seeds that I put in there. And I think of all of them, I've got, this is the biggest one. It was last year that I tried my propagation of papaya seeds. So I think I've got another little plant left somewhere in the prop box. But I'm really happy that I have at least one nice big one. It's just, I have it right on the top shelf up there. And there's still a bit of a window there, and it loves it. And that's also where the Hoya multiflora is, up on that shelf. By that little bit of window, you can see that it's a triangular window that goes further up. So, yeah, well, not Hoya, not technically an indoor plant, but hey, interesting story, don't you think? I had given up that, you know, nothing was going to come of those seeds, but after 6 months of trying, gave up, put it away. The moss dried out, did nothing, put other seeds into that little prop box, seedling box, and not only did those seeds sprout, but so did the papaya seeds. Anyway, totally off topic of Hoyas, but nice way to finish. I hope you enjoyed the summer. I mean, as far as I've read, we've broken heat records all over the world. Not good for our future. You know, and if tropical forests get affected by the heat and the climate change, etc., because I think there's a drought somewhere in South America in the forests. You know, it could be that the plants we're growing at home are going to be the sole survivors of those genus. Like the philodendron silver sword. I mean, it's only us growing it at home in our indoor gardens. It doesn't exist in the wild anymore. I don't understand why people don't plant it. You know, we can go to the shop and buy a small philodendron silver sword. Why can't they, you know, get baby silver swords from the nurseries and plant them up in the wild? You know, I just don't understand. It's just my stupid thinking. Anyway, hope you are well. Growing season fast approaching the end, and we'll start looking how to keep our plants alive during the winter. But I hope you are all well. If you like, press like. It helps me, costs you nothing. If you're new and you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. It does a lot for me and it costs you nothing. Okay, thank you. Until next time. Bye.